You've probably been wasting money at Universal and don't even know it. Today we're going to give you some tips that we've learned over the years that helped us save some money and will probably help you as well. So our first tip is to stay at one of the value resorts on Universal property. And what does Universal consider their value level resorts?
So that would be Endless Summer. You have Dockside or Surfside.
Which we've stayed at.
And we really like. Sometimes you can get it as cheap as $100 a night plus tax. And it's a really nice resort. It's very clean. It's got a great on-site food
food court.
Food court. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the word I'm looking for. And so we really like that one.
What is the next level? Because there are a couple more that's considered in the value, but it's a little bit higher.
So a little bit higher up would be Cabana Bay Beach Resort and Aventura Hotel. So Aventura is kind of a modern theme, kind of a very tall building, nice cool bar on the rooftop, things like that. Cabana Bay is pretty nice. People like it because it has good food court and it also has lazy river.
Lazy river, and it's got a nice pool. It's almost like a beach
two nice
themed.
pools. Yeah. And it overlooks Volcano Bay, so you can see the volcano at the water park.
So when we talk about staying at one of the Universal properties, some people think that it's cheaper to stay off-site than it is to stay at a Universal property, but that's not always true, is it?
No, it's not. People think that, I'm going to stay at Universal's hotel. That's definitely going to cost me more because it's got Universal's name on it.
Right.
And that's really not the case. A lot of times pricing is very similar to something like a Holiday Inn or even a Best Western that might be down the road. And people will say, well, I'm going to stay over there because they offer free transportation too. Isn't that the same as the transportation at Universal?
Yeah, it's kind of like clickbait. Trust us.
It's really not the same thing. Universal's running their transportation around the clock, the whole time the parks are open and the whole time City Walk is open. These other places, like a Holiday Inn type of place down the street, they might be offering transportation, but it's going to be at set schedules throughout the day. So you're on their time. You don't get to do what you want when you want to do it.
Now, you know how we say that we learn things so you don't have to, and that's why we make these videos? Well, several years ago, we stayed off-site to save money.
Yes.
And we experienced this transportation issue for ourselves. Trust us when we say the buses don't always show up when they're supposed to, and if they show up at all. So if you think that you're going to get transportation to and from, that's not always there. You could be out taxis or Ubers or something else to get you back to the resort when you were supposed to get free transportation. Stay on Universal property and utilize their free transportation to and from. Because they are running, and before it's open, because they give you time to get there and get in line, till the park closes. And speaking of before the park opens, that kind of is another tip as far as staying on Universal property, and that is early park hours, which is, what does that give you?
So early park admission, or EPA as some people call it, is the ability to enter the park 1 hour before everybody else. So anybody with the early park admission, so that's all of your people that are staying at the Universal hotels, you all have access to the park an hour before the general public.
Does that mean that I can get into some rides, in line for my favorite rides and not have to wait near as long? Maybe Hagrid's or Velocicoaster?
Absolutely. So especially if you get there early enough to be one of the first people in the park, you can bolt straight on over to Hagrid's, get on that ride, get off of it, head over to Velocicoaster, and have both of those done before everybody else is even allowed in the park.
See, that in itself is a good reason just to stay there. So another way that you can save money by staying on Universal properties is parking fees for going to the park, because you're using their free transportation, but if you're driving to the park, you have to pay daily parking fees.
That's right. Universal charges about $27 a day to park at the theme parks. So if you stay at their resort, you avoid that.
But don't you still have to park if you drive? Don't you have to park at the hotel and pay for that?
Well, that's true. You do have to pay for parking at the hotels, but it is a cheaper rate. So at these value level resorts, it's anywhere from about $15 to $18 a night. So that's a savings.
Okay.
And also note, if you're a hotel guest and you have paid for overnight parking, and then you decide you want to drive your car over to the theme park, they're going to charge you at the theme park as well.
If you are staying off-site, it's going to cost you about $27 more to park at the theme park. But if you stay at the resort, then you're only paying $18 to $20, somewhere in there, to park at the hotel and utilizing the free shuttle. So you're still saving money. So our next tip is to stay on Universal property during the off season. Believe it or not, there is an on and off season when it comes to theme parks, or I guess you consider a busy time and a less busy time of year to go. The busiest times, of course, is going to be through the summer months when the kids are out of school, as well as holiday weekends, spring break, that time of year. But if you're looking to go and save some money, my recommendation would be go sometime when you say January through about the beginning of March, before spring break.
Yep.
And the best times to go is September, October. September being probably our pick as the best time to go with the lowest crowd levels. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. The weather's really nice in September. It's not overly hot like the summer, but it's still warm enough to have fun on the water rides.
Right.
Or enjoy the pool if you wanted to. Or even head over to Volcano Bay and hit up the water park.
So our next tip is all about food. And that is, in order to save money, you need to find the places that give you large portions of food for a smaller amount of money. Then you can share them. Because the trick is, if you're full longer, then you don't have to eat as much and you save money with food. So I would have to say, if we're looking at the Universal side, my favorite place is, or my top pick for the biggest portion is probably the Jacketed Potato. And it's located over on the Harry Potter side by the night bus. If you can find the night bus, or find out or listen for all the people knocking on the door trying to get Creature to peek out the window, knocking doesn't make him come out. It's on a timer.
Right.
So sorry if I ruined the magic, but hey. And so right across from that, anyway, get back on track here, right across from where everybody's beating on the door is the Jacketed Potato stand. This is a huge potato that they give you generous portions of. And it comes with 4 different types of filling: broccoli and cheese, bean and cheese, or even a shepherd's pie. So they just pour that all over the top of it.
Sounds pretty good to me.
It's large enough that it could easily feed a couple people.
Sure.
And it's only around, what, $10? Something like that?
Yeah, it's not a bad price at all.
But what is your favorite?
Oh, so I finally tried the famous Central Park Crepes. Oh man, so this is another one of those spots that's really easy to overlook because it's just kind of a tiny little green stand. But if you know, you know.
Right.
Right? So it is kind of catty corner across from Mel's Diner.
Yeah.
Over in maybe catty corner from the other corner is the horror makeup show. So if you can find those two things, you can find Central Park Crepes. These crepes are huge, and you can get them as savory or sweet. So the one that we tried was a pulled pork. Had some peppers,
it was
tomatoes,
like that pork carnitas.
Yeah. It was really good. It was almost like a pork taco, but or a pork fajita in a crepe shell.
Right, and I really liked it, and it was pretty filling.
Yeah,
and we both
we shared it.
Yeah,
and it was enough to fill us up for quite a while. And then they also, if you aren't in the mood for savory, have sweet options. So if you want a dessert, there's all kinds of Nutella and whipped cream based desserts there that I've heard are fantastic, but we haven't tried them yet.
And those are they range between
vary.
about $10 and $15 for a crepe. So if, like the one we had, I think it was around $10, $11, and it was the pork carnita, like we said. And it was really good and filling. Definitely have that again. So that's in our top picks for the Universal side. So our third pick for filling food that you could share is kind of off the cuff a little bit here. It's more of a sweet treat than anything. It's the Lard Lad Doughnut that you find over in the Simpsons area. This is a 8-inch gigantic donut. It's around $10, but it will easily feed 2 people. Without a doubt, it's 8 inches. It's huge.
A whole small family for breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. So
cut off some slices and share it up.
Yeah, if you're looking for something just to get a snack that's filling, that is a good option. It's, like I said, back over in the Simpsons area. Okay, so since I went first last time for Universal side, what is your number 1 pick for Islands of Adventure for the most filling type of foods?
It's gotta be green eggs and ham.
Oh, yeah, that would have been mine too.
Yeah, so when you first walk into the park, if you take a right towards Seuss Landing, there's a big green stand. It says green eggs and ham, and they have the best big portions of tater tots. So green eggs and ham is one of the options you can get, which is my favorite. They smother it in cheese sauce, so it's a whole bunch of tater tots smothered in cheese sauce, little pieces of egg and ham. Me too. But other people have told me, our daughter included, that the buffalo chicken tots is where it's at.
That's my favorite, the buffalo chicken tots. You know, if you like buffalo sauce and chicken and just ranch dressing, it's just good. It's really good.
I've also heard the pizza tots are really good. So I'm not sure you can go wrong at this stand.
No.
Be prepared. The line is usually a little slow moving.
For prices, you're only looking for $10 to $15 depending on what you get. The green eggs, the ham, and the buffalo chicken tots are around $10. And then as you get into the more specialty tots, they range in prices. They're a little bit higher. But I think the most expensive one there is like $14 something, maybe $15 tops. So since you took my green eggs and ham choice, I would have to say that my pick then would be Blondie's, the Dagwood.
You do love the Dagwood.
I like the Dagwood. Now, this is a sandwich. It is just piled high with ham and roast beef and turkey. It's kind of their take on the club sandwich. It comes with lettuce and tomato and all this goodness on this fresh bread. It is really good and very filling. If you're really hungry, this will fill you up. If you're looking for a snack, you could easily share this between a couple people. It's huge portions of it. So I would have to say that those two over there are our top. But there is one more I would have to add to this just because of the meal that it comes with, the value. And that's over at Fire Eaters. And that's the Greek Yarrow. And now we know it's pronounced Yarrow, not Hero or Gyro, because we went to Greece and they told us from a Greek person they pronounce it Yarrow. So if you want a good Yarrow, you need to go over to Fire Eaters. It's pretty close to authentic. But, you get the Yarrow and a side of fries over there.
So that's a good value because the Yarrows are decent size. They're probably almost as big as the crepe.
Yeah.
And it comes with fries, and it's about the same price.
Yeah, it's around $11, I think, for that portion. So if you're looking to save money on food, these are the areas that I would definitely go in either park just to get something that you can share, that you can split, to cut back on some of the costs that you would see at some of the sit-down places. But as far as our best value and money-saving foods, these are our choice. So our next tip, utilize the single rider lines. Now tell us a little bit, how does a single rider line work?
So, a single rider line is the way Universal fills empty seats on a ride. So, for example, you want to ride the Hulk, but you're the only one that wants to ride the Hulk in your party. No big deal. The Hulk has 4 seats per row. You go to get on, maybe 3 people are together in the regular line. They fill 3 seats. There's an empty seat just for you. Universal pulls you out of the single rider line. You get to ride. The ride line moves faster and more people get through.
Now, I have noticed that there's times when groups of people get into a single rider line because they see it moving faster and they think, we can get up there and we're all going to sit together.
Yeah.
What's the chances of a group of 3 or 4 people actually getting to sit next to each other?
That's pretty slim. You might have 1 or 2 people that get to sit together, but you should definitely not enter the single rider line expecting to stay together. You should expect to be split up.
So this is a good way to save money, and we'll talk a little bit about how this really helps a little bit later. But if you're looking to get through the park, ride as much as you can, and not have to wait in lines, this is a great way to do that.
Yeah.
If you're with a group that doesn't mind to be split up.
Right, or maybe you're the only one in your party that wants to ride a certain ride. Right. It works really well.
So there you go. Utilize the single rider lines. So you had a tip for us as well. What is your tip?
I do. So as someone who definitely has to stay extra hydrated throughout the day, this is very important to me. Water bottles.
Ooh, okay.
So a lot of people think, oh my gosh, I have to buy these expensive sports drinks or sodas or refillable mugs throughout the park. And yeah, you can do that. However, if you're like me and you just like a good ice cold cup of water, you can get that for free.
So you can get water from any of the Freestyle machines located around the park.
There are also Coca-Cola Freestyle machines in the hotels. So
yeah.
Any water bottle will work, any cup of any kind will work, as long as you're only asking for ice or water. And if you don't have a cup with you, you can also go to any food stand that has a fountain soda machine, and they will give you a free small cup of water. It's usually like this big, but you can ask for as many of those as you want.
So we have a couple bonus tips for you guys. One of them is kind of related to the food, and that is
Amazon or Instacart food delivery.
Hey, look at that.
Did you know you can get your groceries delivered to your hotel? So if you're staying in an on-site hotel, and let's say you splurged a little bit, you got the little 2-bedroom suite in Endless Summer Dockside, maybe you paid an extra $25 a night.
Break the bank.
It's totally worth it. There's 3 beds, and there's a picnic table, and a full kitchen. So you have a microwave, the sink, the mini fridge, the whole thing.
And we've done this before to save a little money, where we order in some granola bars, we order in some Pop-Tarts, different things to keep in there. And this is stuff that we would also throw in our bag and take to the park with us for a snack, so we're not wasting money. So it serves 2 purposes. It provides you with some stuff at the hotel, some free water and things that you're not spending money there, as well as some snacks and stuff that you can take to the park with you to keep you from spending extra money. So we have another bonus tip for you. We've been talking about the Express Pass and ways to save money to avoid purchasing the Express Pass, but really, what is the Express Pass?
So an Express Pass is a separate entry lane into a different ride queue. So when you go up to a ride, at the very front of the ride, if it accepts Express Pass, there will be a lane marked as Express Pass. You show your little pass to the attendant there, and you walk on through. And then you get through faster than the regular line.
Oh, so that's how the single rider line comes into play, if you don't want to buy that, because the Express Pass can be pretty expensive.
It can be. The price varies depending on the time of year and how crowded they expect the parks to be.
Right.
But the other thing with the Express Pass is you have to purchase it per person that wants to use it per day. There are 2 levels to that, but most people buy the unlimited one so they can ride as much as they want, as many times as they want.
And that can get expensive and add up if you've got several people in your family.
Yeah, especially if you want to go for multiple days.
So what could we do to get the Express Pass and save money? Because that's what we're all about today, is saving money.
Yeah, so if you really want the Express Pass, stay at a premier hotel. Universal has 3 premier hotels. They have Hard Rock, Portofino Bay, and Royal Pacific. Those 3 hotels, when you stay at them, also include an unlimited Express Pass for every day of your stay for every member of your party.
So everybody staying in our room gets an Express Pass.
Yep. This can save you hundreds, sometimes even $1,000.
Yeah, depending on how long
you're going to stay and how many people are in your room. So if the Express Pass is a must-have for you or for the time of year that you're going, this is the best tip I can give you, is stay at the premier hotel.
If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. And we want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next adventure.